There are things that we experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in a corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us, share your story, share your evidence, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is Minnesota Ghost Box.
Hey everybody, welcome to Minnesota Ghost Box. This is my live Spirit Box feed for April 26, 2020. Thank you very much for joining me. This is going to be fun. I'll have to admit, I'm already getting the equipment going off. I have equipment in another area. We'll cut to it in a moment. Unless, of course, we find ourselves getting responses right away, then we'll cut right to that right away. So thank you all very much. Also, I just want to let everyone know as we get started that my feed is about 10 to 15 seconds delayed. So I'm about 10 or 15 seconds ahead of you. So if you say something to me, it might take a couple of seconds for me to catch up with you, or you to catch up with me, I guess. But please know that that's just how it goes. I just want to ask anyone who wants to say hello, please do a shout out, because that's how I know that you all are here. Hi, Anne. Nice to see you tonight. Lucy, thank you very much for joining in. Ruby, thank you. Mary, always good to see you. Mandy, thank you very much. Carmen, really appreciate it very, very much. Let's have some fun tonight. This is what I'd like to do. There's a couple things that I need to, hi Allison, a couple things that I need to do I just want to, as usual, go over a few things before we get started. But this time I also want to play some of the evidence that we captured on our last session on April 12th. This is the first time I'm doing this, but the reason why I want to do this is because I thought we got some really good stuff. And I think it's worth pointing out and putting into context, because sometimes I think those of you who come to these on a regular basis, you'll find that there's just a lot of white noise and you're just like, what on earth is happening here? Some of you keen ears, you certainly pick up on stuff. I definitely get that. And then others, I don't know if you're just being kind to me and sticking around or what, but I want to show you that there is stuff being picked up and that is relevant to our conversation. And that's what we're going to do tonight. I have a couple pieces. We could go through it for like a full hour of all the stuff I picked up, but we don't have time for all that. So just know that we're going to do a little bit of that, and then we're going to get into the actual Spirit Box session for tonight. And like I said at the top of the show, the equipment has gone off a couple times already. Like the REM pod has gone off, our Ovilus has gone out, the flashlight has gone off. And so I'm waiting for more stuff to happen. Once we get over to this section of what we want to talk about, we'll go through what the Ovilus has been saying tonight. And it's always very, very interesting. So we'll do that. It'll be fun. So that's kind of the purpose for tonight. Michelle, thank you very much for joining me. I'm so happy that you are able to make it. Nicole, thank you for checking out what we're doing. And artists, we just want to say hello to you. And then, of course, Tony, hi. How are you doing tonight? So let's get to it. First of all, as I do every week, I want to kind of share with everyone, I have a radio show on KCOR every Wednesday night. And last time that I was on here, I promoted Pamela Pierce Barcelo. And I'm promoting her again because it's been 2 weeks and we have not been able to connect to be on the show. One week was because of me. The last week was because of her not feeling well. And so for those of you who do not know, her father, he created The Legend of Boggy Creek. He directed it, and it just got released on Blu-ray. And because it's cryptozoology, I wanted to have her on and talk about the film. And if you have not seen it, It's now available on Blu-ray. I've been watching it. It looks amazing. So please check it out if you can. And then, as I like to do every single week, I just want to point out, and I'm not sure if she's going to be doing it tomorrow, but Monday nights, psychic medium, tarot card reader Ane, she does one-question readings on Facebook Monday nights, generally, if she's able to. There's no guarantee that she does it, but she will be doing that. If she's able to do it tomorrow, she will. And that's always on her Facebook page, which is Tarot by Ane. If you have not liked that page, please do so, because it's a valuable resource to be able to have someone pull some tarot cards and tell you what's going on in your life, because you have questions, and we know that. Check it out. Monday nights, she does these. They get very busy, so get in early. But certainly check it out. Tarot by Ane on Facebook. You can also schedule a reading with her, and that is at www.onae.org. What that means is that you can schedule time with her, 30 or 60-minute sessions, and you get a very in-depth reading. And, especially around these times where people are unsure about stuff, you could use a little bit of positivity, and that's what she brings. So I would, once again, highly recommend that, because it's really, really very good. Let's see, where do we leave off? Angel, hello, thank you for joining me. Meg, good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Meg, I know, of course, through all of our Doctor Who conventions and whatnot. It's very cool to see you here. And then Mary, very nice to see you, another psychic medium who is very, very talented. So, as I say every week, when we do these, if you haven't got bored and moved away from this session, we need all the help that we can get, because this is a group effort. We use the intention of everybody to be able to do this. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a second. Why don't we go through some of the evidence from last time, which would have been April 12th. And what that is I wanted to kind of go through some of the stuff that we got. I think we got nearly about 40 things that I considered myself to be responses, or things that were said that are either relevant or that are that maybe spirits were talking to each other. I don't know what it was, but I found those were good. From there, I think I picked 8 pieces I want to play tonight. I was talking to somebody else about this earlier, about what I wanted to share, but I hadn't gone through the entire session yet. So this is actually very different, because when we got towards the end, that's when we started to get a lot of very interesting pieces coming through. So I want to start with a question that Spirit had asked. I'm going to play this. It plays 3 times in a row. So I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to play this one again because it goes really fast. If you listen to it, I think you'll be able to hear. Now, it might be a little unfair that I am going to tell you what it says, because part of it is where, you kind of figure it out for yourself. We don't have time for that. We want to kind of get moving here. So I'm telling you my interpretation of it. I'm not saying this is what it said, but this is my interpretation of it. If you think it's something different, that is totally fine. And there are no right or wrong answers, because we're just trying to figure it out ourselves, right? We're just trying to get it. But this is what I think is being said, which, once again, may be completely wrong. But we're going to start off with a spirit, a female spirit, very clear, but very quickly, just ask the question, had enough? Check this out. Doesn't that go quickly? Had enough, had enough, had enough. That's the thing about Spirit Box responses, and especially using something like the SB7, which I tend to use more often than not, is that, it just goes very quickly. I mean, I get the impression that spirits ride on the frequency. So they don't always have control of how they sound or how quickly it comes across. So I'm going to play that one more time, and let me know what you think. So that is my impression for there. Now, throughout the evening, we always call in all of our sessions for love and light, right? It's always about having love and above come and talk to us. We are not after low energy. We are not after negativity. That's not what this is about. So what I found very interesting is that we had a number of responses that use the word love in it. And this is one of them where it's just somebody who says, we love you. And at first I thought maybe it's somebody, at first I thought they said, we love you. But that's actually my voice in the background, because I tend to talk over everything all the time. And I'm sorry. It's just ridiculous. And that's, I listen back to the recordings and I hear my voice and I'm just kind of saying to myself, shut up. Just let the spirit speak. But you know, here, I'm going to play this one more time for you. So we got that. We move on to a woman who very, very distinctly, and I don't know if she's going somewhere. I don't know if she's a relative of one of ours. And that's the thing that's always fun is who are they talking to? Are they talking to each other? Are they talking to me? Are they talking to you? It's really hard to know, because I don't think that they necessarily realize that they're, if they want to talk to somebody in the chat, that they connect, you know, that we're going to pick up on that right away, let alone even maybe hear it. So this one is a woman very quickly saying, love you, bye. And I love this one. This is kind of cool. I'm going to play it again. You can hear the distinct words, okay? Love you, bye. Love you, bye. Okay, let's try this again. Now, because of how this is, I see the comments are stacking up, so I'm going to read them after I get through them all. So if you're all saying this sounds nothing like what it should sound like, I do apologize. Because it does, I mean, to me, they sound like it. Okay, so let's move on. Let's see where I am here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if I got this right. You know how every session I ask all of us to bubble up, okay? We always bubble up to protect ourselves so that we stay in love and light and that we don't have any spirits do anything nasty to us. Well, this is a spirit saying, don't bubble, okay? Don't bubble. And you wait a couple seconds and then another spirit says bubble. So it's don't bubble, bubble. All right, let's see if I got to the right clip here. And then from there, probably about maybe 20 seconds after that, you get another voice of some gentleman just saying bubbled. So I'm going to play both of those again. So bubbling was a big thing here. So here's the don't bubble. And then bubble. Now we move on to my favorite part, which I didn't expect. We get to the end of the session, and if those who were with us last week, I don't know if you remembered or not, or 2 weeks ago, remembered or not, that we crossed over some spirits, that we asked to cross them over. We did cross them over, and you know, we heard some things being said during that period of time, but some of it went by very quickly. So the first one is asking whether or not spirits had made it over. And we get this wonderful response of somebody saying, we're good. Once again, I'm talking over it, of course, so that's great. You can hear my voice in the background. It's sometimes obviously so hard. Did you hear that? That was the REM pod. Okay, the REM pod's going off. Can you make it go off further, please? Wow. Thank you. Can you make the flashlight go off? Because that was going off earlier too. The one next to the REM pod was going off. Can you make the flashlight go off again, please? Can you make the REM pod go off? All right, thank you. So that's cool. It's been kind of doing that off and on all night as soon as I turned it on. And I don't think it's a battery issue because of the way it's going off, as well as the fact it's not at a regular, it's not intermittently regular, if that makes any sense. It's so, you know, if we get interrupted again, so be it. That's what we're here for. You know, Spirit, you can talk as much as you want with us. Where was I? And maybe the spirit of who crossed over and said we're good, and I was talking over them, wanted to talk over me for all I know. So that's kind of cool. Where are we here? So here's my favorite part of the session. And as part of the crossing over and talking to spirits, if you've made it, how are you doing, whatever. And there's a woman here that says very, very clearly, together, meaning we're together. Check it out. Together. 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 Now, let me explain. Let me break this down a little bit, why this is very interesting to me. As I always say, when you get a word that has like 3 syllables coming through your spirit box, why that is important, you have so many frequencies that you're going through, especially in the SB7, you're going through it rapidly, rapidly, rapidly. You don't have time to get part of a word in. So if you get going rapidly through the frequencies, one word that's 3 syllables that is very audible, that is very, very interesting and worthwhile to note, okay? That is something that you want to have, and that's why this is so good. It's the same voice through all of those, syllables. It's relevant to the conversation because we're asking, did you make it over? Are you all right? And she's saying together. And I take that as we made it, we're all together. So I want to play that again because I really like it. And this is my favorite of the session. So here it is again. Together. 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 So that's cool. I love it. One more, last one of the night here, as far as from the last time we did this. I don't know if we're moving too quickly for spirits or if she's waiting for more spirits to come. It could, for all we know, and I just kind of thought of it, it could be, you know, as I think at least, when spirits are crossing over, there's somebody waiting for them. And maybe this is that person waiting for them. And all they say very clearly, 2 words, hold on. So let's hear that. So that's cool. I love that. So there's some really good ones. I'm going to play that one real fast one more time. So I want to see where we are here. There's been a lot of I see a lot of people putting through different things, and thank you so much for joining us. And Danny, thank you very much. Nice to see you. I mean, I think that some of these are really good in terms of the responses that we got. So. Which, Catherine, I think you got a bubble, right? Yeah, it's pretty cool though. And then, and Meg, let me know what you mean by that, because I'm only getting these now, like what the context of which one, and I'll be happy to explain it. Sorry, I didn't see it at the time. Tracy, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. So now we move on to talking about other things. First of all, I want to talk about the equipment that we are going to be using tonight. First of all, the equipment's been going off, and that's always exciting. That's what you want. You want to be able to have stuff actually happening. So if we take a look at the equipment, whoops. I'm getting used to all the equipment myself, so it's kind of crazy here. All right, I'm going to yell here. We have two obelisks tonight, okay? And I'm going to read off what they've been saying so far. So the old one, which is the one on the right, that's an obelisk 4, okay? And what that's been saying is front, map, and 60, okay? And it blurts out stuff. Now, right above that is what they call REM pod, and that's been going off. We saw it go off earlier, and that is pretty exciting to be able to get that to work. Hey, Josh. Hey, Tracy. Because that doesn't happen all that often. And it was going off when I was talking about talking over spirit. It wanted to talk over me. That's kind of what I get from that. We have 2 flashlights. You see 2 flashlights there right now. What the theory behind that is that we can get flashlights to go on and go off by answering our questions. Now, the flashlight's been going on and off. It hasn't gone on since I started the session. So hopefully it will go off at some point. In the middle, we have another obelisk. And that obelisk says Jack A, which it's the way it said it was really odd. That happened before I tuned on. And then I think the other word there looks like, does that say bad? It's hard for me to see. I don't know how it looks for all of you out there. It says sad. So sad. So anyway, and then there's the 2 other devices that have lights on them. You see them? They're like little lights. Those are called K2 meters. And the idea behind that, kind of the same as the REM pod, you get electromagnetic energy coming near them, and they should be going off to denote that there's some sort of disturbance in the electromagnetic field. So that is our equipment on that end of things. Now, of course, what we're doing here tonight is called a Spirit Box session. So we have a Spirit Box. And for those who don't know, a Spirit Box is a radio that bypasses, when you do a scan on your radio and it stops at stations when it has a station to pick up on, a Spirit Box goes through all of those stations. It just continually loop through the frequencies. This one has a variable sweep rate to it, so you can go slower, you can go faster. I go as fast as possible on this so that I am not picking up stations. And the hope is not to pick up any bits of stations that might contaminate the information that's coming through. So that is something that I like to do. There's other types of Spirit Boxes. This is what you call a commercially made Spirit Box, meaning that they're mass produced. You also have versions that are what we call Spirit Box hacks. These are just radios from the 1990s that have a bypass in them so that they work very similar to the SB7. These are kind of more like the original versions of the Spirit Boxes that before the mass production began. But these go slower. So in my mind, you end up getting a lot more chance of picking up radios, broadcasts in here. And so if say that, for example, what was it? Was it Friday? That was the 4th anniversary of Prince passing. If you are listening or trying to use something like this, a hack spirit box, on a day like where Prince's name might be all over the place, and you're trying to get in touch with Prince, there's a very good chance that this will say Prince, because we're, first of all, in Minnesota, and also because Prince would be probably talked about quite a bit. So that contaminates the evidence, you know. So it's you got to be careful about that sort of thing. So yeah. And we'll try one of these. Maybe we'll switch over tonight. I'm thinking the next time we do this, I might go to what I call the Andres box, which is just a massive spirit box that I've had some really good stuff from. At the same time, it is it's very big, really big. This is another hack, spirit box hack. And what's interesting about this is it's called, it's Roberts is the name of it, which it's a name that we pick up quite a bit in our spirit box sessions. And we also have a Robert that lives in this house too. So lots of similarities. I mean, that's one of the things I find the most interesting about doing spirit box communication, or actually paranormal in general, is that there's a lot of connections that happen throughout an investigation, throughout communication. There's a lot of what we call parity, right? P-A-R-I-T-Y, not P-A-R-O-D-Y. And that's stuff that I find very interesting. Mandy, I'm gonna take a look at your question here from the last session. Did you hear the whisper? I think it was close to the end of the session. It was a whisper, not from the spirit box, but by your mic while you were talking. I know someone else commented they heard it too. Just curious if you noticed it. And if you did, could you tell me what it said? You know, I did not pick it. Well, here's the thing, to be very honest, because of time constraints, I listened to Spirit Box. Well, I listened to the session from the time that the Spirit Box session started, like when I turned on the Spirit Box, to the time I turned off the Spirit Box. Now, we know that there was probably another at least 5 or so minutes after that where I was talking. So, but I did not listen to that in the recording. Now, we have two different things we have to listen for then, don't we? First of all, I was using this recorder when I was doing the Spirit Box session, and I had the recorder going the entire time. So I should listen to that. But then I have a separate source, right? And that is this recording that we're doing right now, which would be the audio that you've heard would be coming from this mic that's attached to this computer. So that's the thing then, that I have two pieces I need to listen to. And actually, to be very honest, I did not see the comments about the whisper, or at least I don't remember that. So that's very good to note. And of course, I don't have a pen to write it down. I'll have to go through and remember this a little bit later, because that is very interesting. And obviously, that's the kind of stuff that we want. So, okay, that's good to know. We went through the equipment. Let's see. First of all, let's go through the stuff we always talk about. There's no guarantee. First of all, there's no guarantee of any responses. As we go through this and as we listen, and that's why I wanted to play the stuff back from last week, because if I just took it at face value, I would have thought that we did not get a ton of responses, and that's always the case. And we did get a fair amount of responses. I just feel like that this is one of those situations that I wanted to share that. So even though it doesn't sound like we get responses, please note that we will. Before I continue, Josh asked the question, do spirits find you in dreams, or is that in your own mind, in our own minds? Here's the thing, right? This is my opinion. Obviously there isn't, I know what I know. I know what I feel. I say that in the sense that I don't think anyone could definitively say, because it's your heart that tells you. And I do believe that they find you in your dreams. If they want to communicate with you, they will. I've had, at the risk of boring people to death, I've had, after my dad passed, I had him in my dreams quite a bit. And he would come to me. He'd come to, I know he came to my sister a couple times, who is on this session. And I won't share hers, because those are hers. But for myself, I had a situation where he kept showing up in dreams and stuff. And then finally, one of the last times I had of the regular dreams with him, he came to me and I was in my house, in my parents' house, in the kitchen. And he's sitting at the kitchen table and he looked about 20, 25 years younger than when he did when he passed. And I said to him, I looked at him and I just looked at him, and my mom was over at the fridge, you know, because they always had their drinks in the kitchen and whatnot. It was really fun. And I looked at my dad and I was like, wait a minute, you shouldn't be here. You're dead. And he disappeared, as he always had in the dreams. And I said to him, no, you come back here right now. And the dream became lucid. And he came back. He actually came back. And I said to him, you know, I just want you to know that I am really, really hurt that you left us. And I love you very much. And the look on his face is I really don't believe it's a look that you get when you're dreaming about someone. This was real. This was absolutely real. He was there. And I just said to him, I just want to let you know, I love you very much. And I kept kind of repeating that. And I woke up. And he was there. There's been a couple other times that has happened. Now, since then, my mom had passed. And she really hasn't been in any of the dreams of mine. But dad was there quite a bit. And, you know, that's a whole other conversation of what that's about. But to make a long story long, Josh, I do believe that they find you. And, you know, it makes me wonder if you've had something like that, if you're asking the question. It'd be interesting to know what you've run into. I know that I had a very serious, oh, how very interesting. Oh, I will have to talk to you about that and find out what that is. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. For any of you who have lost parents, you probably all you probably all have these very specific kind of stories, and that, you know, that this is, you know, that all of us are just trying to figure out what it is. And when you get them in a dream, it's like you have won the lottery. It's like so just, it means so much to get that. And I went on an investigation once, and it was snowing, and I drove off the road, going onto oncoming traffic, drove off the road. The car should have flipped. And this was actually, for those of you who were on the last session, there was a gentleman named Todd that was there, and we talked about an investigation we had with him that was going to his house. And when the car really should have flipped, it literally went like this and then came back down. And I had a dream of my dad that night. And I asked him in the dream, did you stop the car from rolling? And he said, yes. And then at that investigation that night, I went and started doing some what we call flashlight play, and realized that it's my dad in it. And I should get that footage together and post it, because it's extremely touching. And once again, I asked him, did you stop the car from rolling? And the flashlight was off, and it turns right back on. And there's people out there who don't believe in the flashlight method of communication. Those of you who have experienced it yourself, or dare I even say been with me and I've done it, it's really good. I'm very satisfied. When it works very well. The problem also is sometimes getting the flashlight set up correctly, because as you can see, we have not had the flashlight go on ever since I said that it goes on. It has not actually gone on. Also, please note that the REM pod hasn't gone back on either. So, you know, who knows what it is. Josh, I am really sorry to hear about your father passing. I really am. It's tough. It really is. So yes, there's some just really really interesting things. And that's why I'm hoping that we can still have some good conversations. I run into that quite a bit, Meg, with people wondering why they haven't had dreams from their loved ones, why they haven't come to us. I think that it comes down to, and I know that you're not necessarily asking me why, but I'm going to give you my opinion because that's kind of what I do to people, that whether they like it or not. I think it takes a lot of energy to manifest in any sort of way whatsoever. And I think the problem is it takes energy to come into dreams also. And so your children probably actually needed it more than you. At least that's what the decision had probably been made by your dad. And you're going to tell me, nope, I really need to see him. And I get that. And it will happen. It will happen. I think sometimes, and I'm not saying you're doing this, sometimes if someone wants it so badly that it doesn't always materialize, and you have to end up kind of just being casual about it. It will happen when it needs to happen. And maybe that's the bit of faith that you could take away from this, is that you just know it will happen when it's supposed to happen. And it never happens on our timeline, does it? It never happens. You know, if things were working the way that we wanted to, we'd get all of the responses in the world off the spirit box tonight because we all want it. But it just doesn't work that way, does it? So, okay, why don't we do the spirit box thing? We do this at our own risk. No one should be attaching themselves to us, but at the same time, even though the spirit box, some spirit said don't bubble, I want to bubble. What that means for you, those of you who are joining me for the first time, it's a layer of protection that we put around ourselves because we want to make sure that there isn't any spirits that come and attach themselves to us. And for those of you who may not know what I'm talking about, trust me when I say that spirits like energy. And some spirits, even though we only talk to spirits of love and light, that some spirits will get in and they just might attach themselves to you. Generally, it won't happen in this situation, but if you go on a paranormal investigation, you really have to be careful, but we want to make sure that everyone is safe here. This is a safe environment, and I don't want people to feel like they can't have these situations. So real fast, what you just want to do is you just want to, for those of you who want to take part, your heart, imagine a light emanating from your heart, and it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows. And basically what's going to happen, it's going to completely surround your body. Okay, it's like chainmail, you know, it's protection. It's going to protect you, and you're going to feel good, and you're going to feel safe. And that is what we want to do. We're going to keep our vibrations very high. Vibration meaning our intention, meaning our energy. Everything thinking positive. If you're in a bad mood, turn it around. Try to think positive. We're going to have this amazing opportunity to speak with spirits. Not everyone has that opportunity. So please just be very, very careful, very positive, and set your intention, but not your energy, that you want to speak with a spirit tonight, that you want communication from them. And when I say energy, some people are like, well, just take my energy and, you know, that will, if that gives them strength. No, do not ever offer up your own energy. I have a ton of equipment all over the place that they can take the energy and wear it down so that they can talk to us. Okay. Our energy is ours. It's nobody else's. So we have that. So if you haven't bubbled, please do so. What I like to do is I like to just speak to spirits real fast. If you could show me yes, please. It's going back and forth. To me, that is yes. That is the designation of yes that spirit has given. Spirit, can you please show me no, please? Do you see it move? Did you see it? It's kind of hard, but it changed direction. Thank you very much. I just ask that we have only spirits from love and above. The spirits are positive. Spirits who need our help. You've switched back. The pendulum has switched to yes. They understand. They're agreeing. We want to have communication. We're not doing this to exploit. We're doing this to understand. We're doing this to communicate with spirits. Please talk with us. If any loved ones are here, please come through and talk to us. We miss you. We love you. Spirits who need help, please talk to us, because we can help. We'll do what we can to help you. Thank you. Always the please and thank yous, right, folks? Always got to keep it nice. We'll maybe bring this out later to talk and ask and answer questions if so need be. I'm recording the session. This week I'm taking out the big recorder. This is a Zoom. I use this for podcast recordings and other things, and this is good for getting good spirit communication. We got some good EVPs on here in the past also. We have, I'm going to start with the SB7 Spirit Box. A lot of Spirit Box enthusiasts will tell you that this is the worst kind of Spirit Box to start with. I disagree. But that's what's so great about all of this, is that we have different opinions, and that's fine. We're starting up the recording. We tag our recording, as always, every week. This is Sunday, April 26th. It is currently 10:46 p.m., and we're doing a live Spirit Box session. Spirits, I do want to point out to you that there are all these devices that some of you have already been using. Please continue to use them throughout our conversation and tell us that you're here. You can use as many of these as you want, and you can talk to us through the Spirit Box. So let's do it. Let's start this Spirit Box. I'm going to turn on the Bluetooth speaker that every time I get a text, this will turn off, but whatever. I have the opportunity of going forward or backwards on the sweep. So starting either at 88.5 or whatever it is, or then going up, or starting at 107.9 and going back down. We're going to go backwards, as I always do, and we're going to go at the fastest sweep rate. And from there, hopefully, we're going to get good communication. As always, you are part of this conversation. Please communicate. Please ask any questions. Please let me know if you're hearing something, especially as I tend to kind of go over it. And as we know, I talk over it. Let's have fun. Let's have a good communication session. Starting up Spirit Box. It's going to be loud. Reverse sweep.
Or back.
All right. First off, hello, my name is Greg, and we want to speak to any spirits who want to talk to us tonight. Are there any spirits here in this room? Thought I heard a yeah. I know you, with everyone else, has been waiting very patiently. And just as a reminder to those who are tuning in, this stuff doesn't happen right away. You gotta give it time before the communication really starts kicking in. Sometimes 10 to 20 minutes. I know it's not, it's not quick, but it's worth it. Like, what's that, right? That's a pretty serious, it's a pretty serious response. Sound like yes? If there's any spirits in here, can you say hello, which is what that might have just been? See, that was a multi-syllable. That's almost like a sentence, even though I couldn't quite get it. Same voice. Hey, Susie. How many spirits are with me in this room right now, please? Could I get a number from you? I'm also wondering about any relatives. Looking for relatives of any kind, whether it be mine or anyone listening. Lucy, you're saying five spirits in the room then? Also, the last session we did, we talked about trying to get in touch with angels, and the name Michael did come through. So did Gabriel came through. Also, Laura, I don't know if you're listening, but you last week asked about Olga. I believe it was you, and I thought I got Olga's name. Same voice. Kind of quiet, right? Are any spirits here from the last time I used this box? I talked over again. So there's no spirits here that were here the last time. Feel free to turn on some of the equipment. Let me know. We have the REM pod going on. Do you want to turn that on again for us, please? We got a new name. We got a new word on the Ovilus 5. Let me go run and see what that is. I can't read it from here. Let's say like sunshine or something like that. I don't know if you all can see it much better than I can. I walk away from the spirit box. It starts talking. I heard someone say no. So the word, if you guys can't see it, on the middle Ovilus, that's the little thing that has a screen that has 3 words on it. The top one is elemental. Do I have any elementals in here with me? Yeah? Can you touch any other devices over there? Let us see some of the other stuff go off, please. Any spirits from the St. Michael area, which is where I am right now? They are quiet, absolutely quiet. Why so quiet tonight? Why doesn't anyone want to talk? Did you hear that? Did you all hear that? That was a very quiet help. Is there a spirit that needs our help? We heard help. There she was again. So soft, so quiet. Todd, I was just talking about your house again. That folks are interested. Todd, his and Shannon's house, his wife, was the house that I was going to investigate when my car drove off the road, and it nearly flipped. If we had that, if I heard correctly that a woman needed help, that I thought I heard help. Are you able to turn on one of the devices, please, so that I just know that this is something that you need? And I'm pointing them right now. They're on the table over there. I think all you really need to do is go near them. Hello. Starting to get more spirits starting to talk to us. Tracy had asked if any spirits are from the corner bar in St. Michael. I haven't been in that area for a while, Tracy. Have they torn it down yet? It's a real travesty. It really is. Are any of you frequented the corner bar? Pub?
Okay.
You know what I like about this, and some of you may not pick up on this or care for that matter, the quality of the responses, although we're not necessarily getting them real time, they're sounding more defined. They're sounding louder. They're sounding better. That sounded like someone said pretty soon. I don't know if that's about the corner bar being torn down, because then Tracy writes about the bar, because it closed in January. I don't know what that was. You get some really weird sounds here sometimes. Corner bar was being torn down or closed in January. It was going to be torn down at some point because they needed to do something with to make the road bigger or some bullshit like that. Okay. Thought I heard something move. Like either upstairs. I also have somebody who's downstairs, and that just might have moved something, but I thought I heard something shake. Feel free to knock on the walls if you want to. Hello. We haven't been getting any names. Once again, my name is Greg. There's a lot of people who are tuning in and listening to us talk, and they'd love to hear from you. Could you give us your names, please? Never left. Got something I know. Was that Billy? And then someone said, yeah. Black. Someone said black, it sounds like. Now, these are, I think, worthwhile things to bring up because we shouldn't be getting full words at all with the way that the spirit box is working because it's going through frequencies. Every bit of white noise you hear is going through a frequency. Is there somebody wanting to talk to us? Oh, good. Then we're on the same page. I feel like someone wants to talk to us. Are you related to any of us that are currently listening? Because there's people from all around listening. Just as you know, it's not just me in here. Good, good. It's always good to hear this, folks, because I'm not sure if I'm just like making stuff up, and I try not to. I really don't. Do I have any farmers from around the area? Yeah. Did you have horses? Did you have cows? Yeah. If you had cows, hey David, how many cows did you have? There's a woman that is talking very, very quietly. Stacy, you may have. I'm sure this guy didn't say moo, but kind of sounded like it. I'd like to pretend that that's what's being said. So I think we're getting a lot of random things, and it's a matter for me of wondering how do we get it so we can start connecting the dots here a little bit. Like, what's the commonality here? Do any spirits know any of the people who are listening in right now? Four. If you know anybody listening in, could you say their name for me, please? So we have Mandy, who thought she heard a male say, I do. And then Angel corroborates that. And that's what I love about you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
They're pretty decent responses. For those of you who might be a little bit on the what you call it, unsure side of things, you know, these responses don't always sound exactly as clear as we'd like them to. And it isn't until we go back and listen to them that we really start to understand what is happening. Absolutely, Todd. We'd love to do that. Okay, why don't we do this? Because I wanted to do this, and I think Ane read my mind. She does that. Anyone who wants to talk to somebody who passed, we can try to do that. Once again, there's no guarantees that we're going to get them. I don't want to give you false hope, but I'm more than happy. Like, I don't know what that is. I am more than happy to try and see if we could get a relative to talk to us, a loved one to talk to us. And you never know when we go back and listen to the recordings whether or not we actually do get something that we didn't pick up live. So we're going to start with Ane. Aunt Bev, are you here? Can you talk to us, please? You got a hello. There's a male. Some high-pitched voice that might have been like a hello, and that's a thing. I don't think that you're always going to get them to sound like they do if they do say hello. I'm not saying that was her, but you never know. Aunt Bev, if you're here, if you're able to talk, could you mess with some of the equipment that I have laid out from the coffee table over there? Could you say hello? Possibly. Can you? Now, that was a voice that had the same sort of tone, same sort of thing that, same sort of voice as Aunt Bev does. I've heard Aunt Bev. I've talked to her a couple times. Aunt Bev, could you say Ane's name for us, please? Are you able to say it? I actually thought that we got your name last on April 12th. I listened to that today. I'll send it your way. See what you think. If it sounds like your name on a. I mean, it's pretty close, I thought. Well, Aunt Bev, if you want to talk, you're always welcome to. See, we're getting some stuff coming through. That's for sure. Or you can turn on some of the equipment.
Please.
Yeah, please do. The REM pod hasn't gone off in probably about 25 minutes. You know, please let that stuff go off. Would love it to happen. And Tracy, I did ask my mom, Joan, and my sister, Teresa, to come and talk to you. Hopefully they will show up at some point. That's a voice. Had 3 things come through. 3 words come through. Same voice for all of them. And I asked, Teresa, is that you? if it was somebody else, could you let us know that?
But
So Joan or Teresa, could either of you make yourselves known to us, please? Do you hear the banter, though? Do you hear what's happening underneath? So there's some interesting things being said. So Joan and Teresa, let us know, or maybe you're letting Tracy know at her place that you're there. And Allison, Helen's your mom, right? I heard a voice, a female voice, just say it sounded like mom. Another voice. Helen, is that you? Have you been talking with us? All right, I have another ghost here. This is another ghost that doesn't go away. Sorry, if he's going to make it his business to join into this live feed, then he's going to join in visually also. He's probably going to have revenge on us by licking plastic. But everyone, this is Linus, whose name also came in through the spirit box last week. He's my little boy. All right, thank you. All right, got that out of my system. That was Linus. Probably angry and he's going to piss on something now. We're not getting a lot of loved ones coming through, at least ones that we can necessarily pick up on, like live. Yeah, he probably can sense spirits. He also can sense when I'm trying to talk to other people. And it's a little bit. So we're getting some stuff coming in, but it's really odd because the stuff that's coming in is much louder than it was last time, but it does seem to be a little bit quieter also. Speaking of which, Todd's brother Toby here. You hear that? Is he here? And we got a yeah. So you are Todd's brother? You still there? Toby, feel free to turn on any of the equipment over there. Just go near it. Let us know that you're there. We do have another word through the Ovilus 5. Let me go see what that is real fast.
Yeah.
It says miss, M-I-S-S. Do you miss one of us? Are you a loved one that misses one of us? Or are you trying to get us and you missed? Tony is wondering if Bernie, if you're here. Did someone say yes about Bernie? Yeah, Todd, I do think it was him. I really do. Interesting. Getting some interesting things coming through here now. Bernie, was that you? Did you talk to us? So Tony says, found out today her dad has lung cancer. Thought Bernie might have something to say. Yeah, me too, Tony. Absolutely. And, you know, like I said, it is more quiet tonight, but I feel like that we're really getting some quality stuff when we do get something. And I think the quality, do you say excuse me? And I do think that the quality of the actual audio is better too. They're coming through stronger. I think there's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of responses. Oh, it's interesting. I haven't heard that myself, but that's why I'm glad that you all are here to help us all kind of figure out this puzzle together, right? We're all trying to figure it out together. And just to be clear, just because I haven't heard it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Is there a Chad here? I heard Angel. Did you guys hear that? I heard Angel. Angel, did you hear your name? I totally agree. I think that's why we have to always have our intention be the same. Cool. Nice job. You got your name said. Someone want to talk to Angel? Yeah, that's fantastic stuff. Oh, it gives me the chills. I love it. Thank you for saying her name. That sounded like neighbor. Yeah? Whose neighbor are you? Oh yeah, Angel? Sounded like my name. And I thought I heard neighbor again. Thank you. If you're talking to us, you're welcome. I'm not quite sure what you're thanking us for. Do you get, though, what I'm talking about, folks, when I say that it takes a while for things to kind of start warming up, and now we're getting some decent responses? If you hear something behind me, it's a cat licking plastic. The real monster is Linus in this situation. So, Angel, Justin and you, so you believe Justin must have passed then, and that's who you think this was who's talking to you?
Yeah.
What do you get? So, Justin, is that you? Are you trying to talk to Angel? And it sounds like, well, it sounds like yes. And you passed away a year ago. Very interesting. Who have I not talked to? For Allison, I don't think we got to both people you asked about. Let me check. Well, let me do this. First of all, Lucy, I passed over you. Lucy's father, Frank, are you here at all? I know Lucy would love to hear you say hello. Janelle is wondering about her brother Greg. Greg, are you here? You know, I thought I heard something. Was it really quiet, or did you hear something louder? That's something to really look forward to. If I'm hoping that's the case. I hope that there's a mail that said both Frank and Lucy. That would be amazing. Yeah? That was a voice that just said yeah. Frank, are you here? I mean, I've been asking that, and it sounds like you keep saying yes. Can you say hi to Lucy, please? Holly, what's the name of your neighbor? We've been getting a lot of names tonight, so maybe your neighbor came through. Angel, you're saying that about Frank because I do feel like that every time I say it, I'm getting a response. For some reason, I'm not confirming that for whatever reason. Maybe it's because I just want someone to turn on a light, for God's sake. Come on, spirits, throw me a bone here. Turn on one of the devices for me, please. You did it earlier. I set it up just for you. I mean, there's obviously words coming through there. Now, was that Matt or back that I just heard? Three things are said there. One of them being hope. Okay, that's good. Thank you. All right. Are there any spirits here? I thought we heard someone say help earlier. Are there any spirits here who need help? Was that word friendship that I just heard? What about the spirits, though, that need help? If you need our assistance in any way, can you make it known somehow? Either say it through this device or light something up over at the table of equipment that all you have to do is literally just walk past it, sit on it, go next to it. REM pod went off once. And that's the device that's to your right on the top, that circular thing, at least to my right. So no spirits need any help this week. Okay. Let's see here. Any loved ones, one last chance to talk with us. Was there a new word? Did I miss it? Looks like it says draw. Any artists here? Draw? Any loved ones want to say something, like Aunt Bev? Anything else? Same voice, 2 words. Don't know what it was. You too, Todd. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. Tammy. That's true. Any spirits wanting to talk with Tammy? Any spirits from the Calumet? Oh, you're drawing right now. Are you watching Tammy? Any spirits from Pipestone that are watching Tammy or know Tammy? All right. I think that we have gotten about as much out of them as we will tonight. Spirit, do you have any last things you want to say in this session before we shut down the box? Well, let me just say to spirits, then, thank you very much for talking with us. It's been a good talk. Yep. And we look forward to talking to you again, okay? So thank you very much. I'm going to shut down the session in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much, Spirit. Thank you for making your time. Thank you to everybody. Before you go, though, I just want to make sure you are all safe. So just a reminder that after a session, you just want to remind the spirits that they do not have the permission to follow you, to stay with you. You know, loved ones can always come and talk to you. They can make themselves known in dreams or whatever else, but spirits, especially ones that you do not know, do not have the right to talk with you, you can talk to, but to hang on with you, follow you, stay in your house. Please make that known right now. Let the spirits know that, because that is important, okay? Your safety is important. If after being in the session, you don't feel quite right and you need to just kind of, have a level set, get in touch with me. Let me know, and let me know what you're feeling, because I have people that can help and I can help. We just want to make sure that you are safe. A couple things before we go, just as a reminder, as always. Once again, my radio show is Wednesday, 8 to 9 Central Standard Time on KCOR. Please check it out if you have a chance, because we're going to have the woman whose father made the film The Legend of Boggy Creek. That just came out on Blu-ray, and I think it's going to be a fantastic conversation. Tomorrow night, if she is able to, Anne will be doing her one question reading Monday night. If you haven't, please like her page, Tarot by Anne. It's going to be worth your time. It's so much better than these sessions. It's really quite incredible, very helpful, very enlightening. As for myself, if you are in need of help for any sort of paranormal reason, I'm available for investigations, also for consultations. Since the last time I did this session, last time we went live, I had a couple people reach out to me for my help and my thoughts on stuff. Please feel free to reach out to me. My website is www.mn-ghostbox.org. There you will also find all the spirit box evidence, and I'm going to put up the April 12th session at that time so that everyone can hear everything that was said. You can email me directly at greg@mn-ghostbox.org, or you can send me a note through Messenger, Facebook Messenger too. That's totally fine. Other than that, I'm hoping to do the next session on May 10th. Maybe sooner. We're trying to work out whether or not there's going to be some changes in how we do things. So please keep that in mind, and hopefully that if I change days or something that you all come with, because I'm having people say thank you and stuff. Well, let me thank you, because without you, we wouldn't be able to get these responses. And the next time we meet, I should have more of the responses from this session to be able to play, so people can hear some of the stuff that we got. Just get a hold of me if you need to. Otherwise, thank you again. Thank you very much for staying with us. We were on for an hour and a half, so I hope it wasn't a complete waste of your time. Thank you very much, and I will talk to you all later. I'll see you at the latest on May 10th. Take care, everybody.